What does it really take to impress a legend like Eric Clapton? We do Sunshine. Is that satisfying you? As one of the greatest guitarists to ever pick up the instrument, Clapton has shared the stage with countless icons. From blues to rock and everything in between, he has mastered every style he touched. Music. But even with his massive influence, there are a handful of guitarists who have truly left Clapton speechless. Want to know who earned his deepest respect? Stay with us until the end of this video as Legends Uncovered breaks down each one. B.B. King. Among all the musicians who shaped Clapton's life, B.B. King held a uniquely sacred place. More than an influence, he was a mentor, a guiding star in Clapton's lifelong devotion to the blues. Clapton admired King's ability to express deep emotion with just a few carefully chosen notes. King's signature vibrato fascinated him, and Clapton studied it closely, weaving its spirit into his own playing. King admired Clapton as well. As Clapton rose to fame in the 1960s, King saw him not as competition, but as a worthy torchbearer of the blues tradition. Their friendship blossomed through years of performing together, eventually culminating in their remarkable 2000 collaboration, Riding with the King. A dream come true for Clapton. Even after King passed away in 2015, Clapton remained one of his most devoted champions, always reminding the world of the legend's immense importance. What do you think of the 7 guitarists who impressed Eric Clapton the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video from Legends Uncovered, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Duane Allman. Among all the musicians who shaped Clapton's journey, Duane Allman stands out as one of the most important. Even though Allman's life was tragically short, his impact on rock and blues was enormous. Clapton first discovered Allman's brilliance through Wilson Pickett's version of Hey Jude. When Clapton heard Allman's fiery solo, he was stunned, not just by the technical mastery, but by the emotion behind every note. For a guitarist deeply rooted in the blues, this was a revelation. Clapton later said he had never heard rock-style playing with that level of depth on an R&B record before. By that time, Clapton was already an established force. After the Yardbirds, John Mayall, and the Blues Breakers, Cream, and Blind Faith, he was widely regarded as one of the most expressive guitarists of his era. But Allman showed him something new, a rare ability to channel raw feeling through slide guitar with unbelievable intensity. This admiration eventually sparked one of rock's most legendary collaborations. In 1970, when Clapton was recording Layla and other assorted love songs with Derek and the Dominoes, producer Tom Dowd introduced the two musicians during an Allman Brothers Band concert in Miami. Clapton was so blown away by Allman's performance that he insisted on meeting him. Their chemistry was instant. Allman soon joined the sessions, and what followed was nothing short of magical. His slide guitar became the emotional backbone of the album. The title track Layla owes much of its passion to the interplay between Clapton's anguished leads and Allman's soaring slide melodies. Their musical conversations pushed both men to new heights, turning the album into a timeless masterpiece. Allman's influence is felt throughout the record, from the haunting slide on Bell Bottom Blues to the electrifying exchanges on Key to the Highway. His presence didn't just reshape the album, it left a deep personal mark on Clapton himself. Sadly, barely a year after the Layla sessions, Allman died in a motorcycle accident at just 24. Clapton mourned him deeply, often speaking about Allman with a mix of admiration and heartbreak. Their short time together remains one of the most powerful chapters in rock history. Jimi Hendrix. The first meeting between Eric Clapton and Jimi Hendrix is one of the most legendary moments in rock history. In 1966, Clapton was already considered the top guitarist in Britain. Cream had solidified his reputation, and fans spoke of him with almost mythical admiration. Then Jimi Hendrix arrived. With his flamboyant stage presence, fearless creativity, and completely unorthodox approach to the guitar, Hendrix was unlike anything London had ever seen. His manager, Chas Chandler, arranged for Hendrix to meet Clapton and even perform with Cream. The moment came at London's Regent Street Polytechnic. Chandler asked Clapton if Hendrix could join them for a song. Clapton agreed casually, unaware of what was coming. Hendrix plugged in and launched into a blistering version of Killing Floor. The speed, confidence, and wild freedom of Hendrix's playing stunned Clapton. Clapton later admitted that he had to walk off the stage for a moment, hands shaking as he lit a cigarette, trying to process what he'd just witnessed. But he felt admiration, not jealousy. The media often portrayed them as rivals, but in reality, Clapton viewed Hendrix as a fellow blues disciple, someone who drew from the same well but expressed it with explosive originality. The two became friends. Hendrix gifted Clapton a left-handed Fender Stratocaster, a gesture Clapton treasured. Clapton often attended Hendrix's concerts, marveling at his ability to reinvent the guitar every night. Hendrix's sudden death in 1970 devastated Clapton. He had invited Hendrix over that very night to discuss music and possibly collaborate. Losing him felt like losing a musical equal. Clapton would later say that Hendrix changed guitar playing forever, and that everyone had to rethink their approach after hearing him. John Mayer. When John Mayer first emerged with hits like Your Body is a Wonderland and Daughters, many people wrote him off as a soft pop singer. But Clapton saw far deeper. Clapton recognized that beneath the radio-friendly songs was a brilliant guitarist with flawless phrasing, tone, and emotional control. Their collaboration on Eric Clapton and Friends proved it. In the studio, Mayer impressed Clapton by nailing complex guitar parts in only a few takes, something even seasoned players struggle with. Clapton admired Mayer's ability to blend blues tradition with modern style so naturally. Mayer's invitations to the Crossroads Guitar Festival sealed the respect between the two artists. On stage, Mayer held his own beside icons who had spent decades mastering their craft. The admiration was mutual. Mayer had studied Clapton's playing since childhood, and earning his praise meant everything. As Mayer's career evolved through the John Mayer Trio and Dead & Company, he stepped fully into his identity as one of the finest guitarists of his generation, something Clapton recognized long before the public did. Muddy Waters and Robert Johnson. Eric Clapton's entire musical identity was built on the foundation laid by two giants, Muddy Waters and Robert Johnson. These legends introduced him to the emotional world of the blues, shaping his playing and his understanding of music itself. Robert Johnson's recordings from the 1930s hit Clapton with thunderous force. Johnson's guitar work was so layered and complex that it often sounded like two players at once. But beyond the technique, it was the haunting emotion in songs like Crossroad Blues and Love in Vain that struck Clapton to his core. He once admitted that Johnson's music was almost unbearable to listen to because the emotional weight was so intense. Clapton honored this influence decades later with his 2004 album Me and Mr. Johnson, a heartfelt tribute to his musical hero. Muddy Waters had an entirely different impact. While Johnson was shadowy and acoustic, Waters brought electricity, grit, and swagger to the blues. As the architect of the Chicago blues sound, Waters showed Clapton how powerful amplified blues could be. During Clapton's time with the Blues Breakers and Cream, Waters' influence was unmistakable. Clapton not only covered his songs, but absorbed his slide techniques, vocal phrasing, and raw energy. One of the defining moments of Clapton's life was performing alongside Muddy Waters, a surreal experience that confirmed to Clapton that blues was the purest musical language he had ever known. These two icons taught Clapton everything: emotion, power, storytelling, and soul. Their influence echoes through every note he's played for more than 50 years.